Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Activate Miracles podcast. We have Michael Christl, the Director of Operations for Miracle Activation Center, back with us. And Michael, we had to bring you back for a second episode because we just felt like there was so much more that you could share with us. Welcome back.
And I talk too much, but that's the way it goes. Thank you, Lindy. It's so great to be here as always.
Oh, of course. And, it is kind of a short window. So we try to pack a lot in here to give a lot of content in a very short period of time. So, Michael, we always start with the miracles principle. And the principle that we're going to be focusing on today is miracles principle number 2, which comes from A Course in Miracles. Miracles as such do not matter. The only thing that matters is their source, which is far beyond valuation. So one might ask, well, what does that even mean? And I don't want to overinterpret, because one of the powerful things about the Course in Miracles is that it's not meant for someone to teach us or interpret for us, but for us to kind of gather our own experience and meaning from it. So I'll share mine, and then I would love to hear your input. And then you started to tell us in our previous episode about how miracles were showing up in your life, or your awareness of those miracles showing up, which is a whole nother miracles principle that we'll save for another time. But so I want you to kind of share your own experience. So for me, miracles as such do not matter really is that miracles, like you talked about on our last episode, are happening all the time, every day. Most of us just aren't aware of them. And that really the power in that is that it's the creator of those miracles. So you creating with source, you joining with other people to activate these miracles, which is what this podcast is all about, and how that, shows up in life. So how do you experience that? And maybe you can go ahead and give us some examples of how that's shown up for you in your life.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things that line up to the point where you cannot deny that there was some divine intervention in order for them to happen or occur. Mm-hmm. A lot of things in my life, whether they were small or major, have all been randomly succinct. I think maybe that's one way to describe miracles, as randomly succinct. Like all of these variables had to just come together to do this thing in this moment. Mm-hmm. I think that at this particular point in my life, I'm understanding more about my own desires, aspirations, goals, and just what I want to spend my time and attention on. So I'm on a journey to find my purpose. And I think most people are. They're just curious about, how do I discover what that purpose is? How do I find what that purpose is? And I think getting in touch with yourself, your source, and figuring out what it is that really speaks to you, what motivates you, what makes this happen. There's a couple of quotes that are just really simple in nature that allow you to kind of tune into where it is you should be and what you should be doing. And one is, as you are busy chasing life, to do more of just what makes you happy, what actually fills your cup, what makes you want to get up in the morning, what gives you purpose or passion. Follow your passions, really. Uh-huh. But as far as like how things line up, any number of times in my life, major shifts in life have occurred from random phone calls. For me, it's always a random phone call. I don't know why, but it's a random phone call. And this so random, in fact, that I remember having a phone conversation when I was just totally up against a wall in one career path in my life, and I had no idea what I was going to do next. And I get a phone call from a buddy, a friend of a friend in New York, who said, I have 30 resumes in front of me, Michael, and I don't want a single one of them. I want you, but I don't have your resume for this job. And I was like, what? And it was one of those things that totally put me onto a different trajectory for what I think I was meant to do next, or at least at that time. So it's interesting how I always say things kind of fall into my lap or things find me. And I think it's because subconsciously in my world, in my life, I was at a very specific ending point for whatever it was I was doing. And in the back of my brain and in my heart and in my soul, I was putting out there, I need something different. I need something that allows me to maybe be more of who I am or explore a different, aspect of who I am. And I get the random phone call. It's how I ended up in New York in the first place. Random phone call from a friend of mine saying, "Hey, Michael, what are you doing in October?" And I said, "I don't know. Why? Do you have something fun going on for me to see?" "No, I was wondering if I could help you move." I said, "What? I'm not moving. I have a car. I have a career. I have a house. I'm in some music groups. I'm in a band. I'm doing all these different things. Why would I move to New York in October?" "Well, there's a spot opening up in the apartment, and I just figured, if you're going to give this like music thing a shot, you probably need to explore that more." Things like that.
Right.
So when I say it's always in the form of a random phone call, it's literally for me in the form of a random phone call. Same reason why I'm here, Lorendi. I had a random phone call from my dear friend Lorendi who said, "I was just thinking about you and I needed to share with you what I'm working on. And here's what that is. And I don't know if this, is relevant to you at all, or you have any interest in any part of this. I just felt like I needed to share this with you." And I was like, yeah, this sounds like something I would love to be a part of. So the random phone calls, and for other people, it may be different things, but I think there are signs and connections and communication that if we're open to receiving it, or if we're meant to receive it, it will find us. I think the more aware you are, the more things kind of find you.
That's amazing, Michael. It's almost like ring ring, the universe is calling, or ring ring, God's calling, however you connect to that. Mm-hmm. And you said something that I think is really powerful. You said, if it's meant to find me, or if I'm meant to find it, it will happen. That's very much in line with Esther and Jerry Hicks' teaching, which we're students of too, that when a connection is meant to happen, the universe conspires to bring it together to make it happen. And if it's not meant to happen, there's no amount of efforting you could do that would make that feel aligned and helpful. And I love how you just gave the freedom that there's not a long list of things I have to do or programs I have to take or any of that I can just be present, or I can just be aligned with wherever I'm at, and what I'm meant to do next will find me. No efforting.
And I'm at that point now, but I can tell you that this is where I'm at because of the work that I've done. And I really feel like this is part of the work that Miracle Activation Center will help other people actually hear for the first time. We're not taught these concepts in school, these deeper concepts of there's more for you. Here's how you can tune into that. Right. Here's how you can direct, your energy and attention and maybe receive that which you desire, but in a way that's not so stressful, right, which is so freeing. Mm-hmm. To not be under the gun, to do all the things that you said. I have to take this workshop. I have to take this class. Then I have to go back to school to do this. And I think it's just been so wonderful to hear and understand and experience that maybe I just get to be.
Mm-hmm. At the Miracle Activation Center, we call that unprogrammed programming. Mm-hmm. That ego part of us that still feels like there has to be an agenda.
Yes.
It's all good. Relax. We have a program. It's called unprogramming, and allowing us to, because if I'm meant to take a class, I'll take a class. Right. If I'm meant to get another certification, I will, but there's no desperation, that's drawing me to that opportunity. It really just comes together and happens. So Michael, one of the things that you and I have in common is that we're really good at being in our logical, analytical mind. And how has that had to shift for you at all? Or have you just learned how to connect to that in a different way as you've been on this journey of activating miracles or being more aware of them in your life?
Yeah, the imagery that just came to my mind is the hamster wheel of laundry lists. And there's never a shortage of the length or number of lists that continue to come up. And I think you just get caught up in all of the details. I've always been very detail oriented. And it's been really refreshing to just step back and kind of take a larger perspective, to breathe, to pause, and just maybe tune in a little bit more to how I feel about an activity, a project, an invitation, a task, any number of things, and just sit with that and say, is this something that I want to do? Is this something I need to do? Is this something that feels good for
Mhm.
me to do? And if it doesn't, then my list becomes a lot shorter. And the list that does end up becoming a list is of things that I've been guided to do. They have
Mhm.
purpose, they have meaning, and they have some passion behind it. And hopefully, they're all going to be enjoyable. They're not going to be the task list of headaches that I
Mhm.
have to, or of to dos.
Right. So I think one of the things I've also discovered and love to get your take on this is that when I'm willing to not be in that mindset of the endless task lists
Mhm.
or the notebook full of things that must be accomplished, is that also the universe has brought other people to me to help me with the tasks because
Mm.
I'm so constrained and constricted around that. This has to be done in a certain way. And what a great opportunity it is for any of us in our lives, whether it's on a business front, relationship front. There's so many more tools available to us. There's so many experts available that might actually be able to handle that
Mm.
task or that project, at least, if not better, but certainly enrich the process.
Mm.
And so just relieving ourselves of that, this is my to-do list. I've always said, together we're better. That
Mhm.
was a model that I came up with a long time ago for myself to help me remember the power of community and coming together. So have you experienced that as well as you've kind of released yourself from you having to do everything, or is that something you're still working on?
Yeah, I think very often we pride ourselves on, I did everything myself.
Mhm.
And coming from a family of very strong willed Germans, it was always something that was ingrained into us as a badge of honor. Like, nope, I got it. I'll do it myself.
Mm.
And at this particular point in my life, there have been some circumstances and situations where I had no choice. I was not able to do what I needed to do on my own. And so I
Right.
had to raise my hand and I had to ask for help. And those resources showed up. It was so wonderful. And also for me to not always have to take responsibility for being the fixer in
Right.
my own family and community,
Mhm.
where that's a role I would traditionally play. I'll come in and I'll organize everything and I'll get everything settled and situated and I'll play the fixer. And when I've taken a step back, it's allowed other people to come in and also help with that task or project. It lessens the burden, it makes it more fun, and more of us are able to share in accomplishing whatever needed to be accomplished. And it's great. It's there's so much more value to those dynamics than it is to all of the somewhat negative things that go along with carrying a huge rock on your own.
Right. Amazing. So, Michael, again, it's been a really powerful time together, and our time is coming up to an end again. One of the things we ask all our guests is, we thought you had something powerful to share. So, is there anything else that in this moment you would like to share with our audience that you feel would be really helpful to them?
It's that anything that you feel compelled to do for whatever reason, that voice inside you, the voice on your shoulder, whatever that message is that you can't get out of your head, because there is some sort of message for you that you can't get out of your head. Spend your time and energy on what that is, listening to what that is, figuring out how you could spend more time doing whatever that is, and chase life, chase your life, and go and experience the miracle that you're meant to share with the world and your community. That's the life that we get to live if we choose to live that life.
Thank you, Michael. You've been that miracle in my life. You are a miracle activator right now for the Miracle Activation Center and all of the incredible things that we're doing there as we walk with individuals. So thank you for being with us. For our guests, you can reach Michael at miracleactivationcenter.com. If you Google miracleactivationcenter.com, you'll land on our website. You can find him there. You can find me there, and we're really grateful and look forward to meeting any or all of you who have a desire to walk this journey with us. Remember that you are the miracle activator. Have a great week.